ECO is Jack Roach.
And we're live here at Clinton. They're starting the ball game about 2 or 3 minutes early. The ball's on the tee, and here's Granger Marler to kick off, and here it is, a high, long, booming kick. Shaun Bohanan back in the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and the Clinton Dragons will take over first down, 10 yards to go. Line of scrimmage will be at the 20-yard line.
And David, I've got the starting, the starting lineups. Defensive end, Bill Pendergrass. Defensive end on the other side, Jamil Dye. Linebacker, Rocky Remine starts in the middle. Brad Redmond and Gary Alexander are the two outside linebackers. Joe Gaddis Jr. as a cat back. Cornerback, Jason Altman. Free safety, Darian Milton. Whitson with Mike Gibson also starting as strong safety.
Up to the line of scrimmage will come the Clinton Dragons. Scotty Herrell is their quarterback from the I formation. A single receiver to the right, four-man front for the Wildcats. 1st and 10. Herrell will pass from the first down play. It's complete for a first down across the 30, down to the 36-yard line. Finally tackled at the 40 by Oak Ridge's Darian Milton. A very quick play to, I believe, the tight end. It's a first down play for the Clinton Dragons.
Well, David, you can tell this team's really fired up. It's senior night here as well, like we had last week. The quarterback, Herrell, fakes to the running back inside, hits the tight end streaking down the field. It picks him up about 10 yards, and then actually picks up another, looks like about 9 after he catches it. They'll have a first and 39-yard line.
Up to the line of scrimmage they'll come. Single man here to the near side is Rex O'Connor. The quarterback, as I mentioned, is Scotty Herrell, a 5'7", 165-pounder. Handoff, no, the quarterback will pass. Looking to pass. There's a man wide open. He's going to go to him. At the 20, at the 15, all the way down to the 11-yard line. Somebody broke off coverage and left number 21, Rex O'Connor, wide open. And it looked as if the cornerback for the Wildcats was playing the run. He thought they were going to run. He broke free, and it'll be a first down, 10 yards to go for the Dragons.
Well, David, it's definitely a blown coverage somewhere in the secondary. Herrell's a pretty good little quarterback. He's not real big. He's got he's 5'7", 165 pounds. He's also left-handed. He rolled out to his left side, a guy streaking down the field. If he would have had a little bit better arm, he would have scored on that play. Thank goodness for McCadley back there. He's not going to catch. He's about the only person on the team that would have caught him.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at around the 12-yard line. Man in motion to the right. Up to the line they'll come. Herrell once again rolling to his right. Might run. He's in trouble. He is hit and dropped for a loss. Wildcats drop him at around the 16-yard line. Wildcats all over him that time. They strung it out real well. It's a big loss on the play.
Well, David, it really was. It looked like it may have been a busted play. The quarterback rolled out like it was going to be an option. He was carrying the ball low on his hip like he was getting ready to pitch, but there was nobody behind him to pitch it to. Great pursuit by the Oak Ridge defense. Drops him for about a 3 or 4 yard loss.
10 minutes, 33 seconds to play in the first quarter. We're just underway here from Clinton, live on AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. Up to the line will come the Dragons once again. Brennan Jones is in the backfield. Power eye to the left side. Scotty Herrell, second down, 12 yards to go from around the 16-yard line. Herrell will pass again. The left-hander's in trouble. Now fires it to a man at the 5. At the 2-yard line, he goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Dragons! Clinton scores. They marched down the field against the Wildcats and made it look easy. They did it through the air, and the Dragons take the lead 6-0 with exactly 10:05 to play in the first quarter.
David, Clinton came out. Looks like their game plan is to throw the ball. They threw it 3 out of the 4 plays. They connected on all 3 of them. One for a big 19-yard gain and a huge play after that. And then now on about the 17, 18-yard touchdown strike. Very impressive drive.
And into the game will come the extra point unit. Chris Gann, 5'11", 175-pounder, will do the honors. 6-0 Dragons. And here's the snap. It's very high. In fact, it's rolling on the ground. They're going to pick it up, and it's going to be Oak Ridge thwarting the 2-point conversion, or the extra point try, and the 2-point conversion as well because the snap was bad. We have a 6.
What does it sound like? I'm hot.
Back here at Clinton Field, Charlie Graham is the return man. He returns it to the 32-yard line. And I'll tell you, here at Clinton, they like a quick ball game. We didn't get a full 60-second break in between the kickoff, or the extra point and the kickoff, and where the Wildcat offense will come onto the field. First down, 10 yards to go. The quarterback is Chad Lucier. The tailback will be Shaun Bohanan, and the fullback will be Stan Stisk, and you've got the rest of the starters.
Yes, I did, David. Mike Gibson will also be its flanker. Split in Bill Brock, tight end Jason McCadley, center Chris Black, offensive guard
Josh Young, Casey Jones will be the other guard. Joe Sterner and John Dickens will be the offensive tackles.
Movement on the line of scrimmage by the Wildcats, and that's going to cost Oak Ridge 5 yards. The Dragons on top by a score of 6-0. We're live on AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. The Wildcats saw Clinton just march down the field crisply through the air, and with 9:22 to play in the first quarter, the Dragons on top. I think the rain has, for the most part, quit, although it is very sloppy field out there. There's a lot of fans in attendance here, not as many as probably if the rain had stayed away, as Lucier comes to the line. First down, 15 yards to go. Fisk and Bohanan behind him from the 26. The pitch will go to Shaun Bohanan, looking for a hole, can't find one. He's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Stop is made by Jason Horton, 5'10", 185-pounder, and it'll be no gain on the play. It'll be second down, 15 yards to go, 9 minutes, 6 seconds to play. We're in the first quarter of this Region 2 ball game live from Clinton City Field in Clinton, the Wildcats and the Clinton Dragons. Oak Ridge moving from left to right, wearing their all-white jerseys with red numerals and red pants. The Dragons in all black and orange numerals. Darian Milton and Jason McCadley here to the near side. Single man to the far left is Velbrock. Oak Ridge second down, 15 yards to go. The pitch will go to Shaun Bohanan on the reverse to Darian Milton. Darian Milton cuts it across and gets no yardage at all. He'll be lost, losing a yard, as Brennan Jones is there for the stop. On wet conditions like this, or reverse like that, you would think might be a little bit hard to get things going.
Well, yeah, you know, the field it looks like it's in really good shape right now. The rain has stopped. It hasn't rained hard all day, but it has rained off and on. The field looks like it's in good shape. It's not raining now, but, you know, the ball's still going to be slick, you know, especially right now when you've got 3rd and 13. What kind of passing play are you going to come up with?
Third down and about 14 yards to go. The Wildcats with receivers left and right. Chad Lucier wants to pass, has plenty of time, looks down the field long to Jason McCadley. The pass is incomplete. Off the intended receivers are headed towards Jason McCadley. Defending out there is Scotty Herrell, and it'll be the Dragons getting the ball back, and Oak Ridge will be forced to punt. That's how the Wildcats gave Chad Lucier plenty of time, but he just couldn't connect with Jason McCadley. It'll be Oak Ridge to punt. Jason Altman will do the honors. 6-0 Clinton on top. We're in the first quarter of this region ball game. Some pressure, a very, very wobbly kick, and it'll take off the side of his foot and go out of bounds over towards the Oak Ridge bench. They'll mark it at around the 44-yard line. He stopped at one place, and now he's respotted it up the field at around the 47-yard line. He initially spotted it at around the 43 and then moved about 4 yards up the field. It'll be great field position for the Clinton Dragons. Now the Wildcats need to respond defensively as they trail 6-0. Here comes Scotty Herrell back out on the field for the Dragons. 3 passes and a touchdown basically for the Clinton Dragons on their first drive. They'll send, let's see, Tony Colson here as a receiver to the near side. Jason McCadley picks him up. I formation once again. 4-man front for the Wildcats. Moving from right to left. Herrell will pass. Feeling a little pressure. Here's the pass. Complete. At the 47-yard line of Oak Ridge, the Wildcats make the stop with Joey Mingy in there along with Bell Brock, but the pass was complete to number 12, Brennan Jones. And they gained about 7 yards on the play to bring up second down and 3 yards to go.
Well, it's a nice little play, David. They actually just have a little dive fake, and then the tight end on the left side just runs out and does about a 5-yard out. You're relying on your probably your outside linebacker to cover him. It's awfully hard to cover that. It's a good, safe, very well designed play.
Up to the line will come the Dragons. Second down and about 4 yards to go. I formation. The pitch will go to the tailback who tries to get outside. That's Thomas, and he is really belted by Oak Ridge's Jason Altman. Just knocked him down. Thomas was a student at Oak Ridge High School last year. Did not play football for Oak Ridge. Has come over to Clinton and now is the starting tailback for the Clinton Dragons.
He's a pretty good-sized kid, too, and he ended up running the sweep. Picked up about 4 or 5 yards, but right as he was heading toward the sideline, Jason Altman just had a crush hit on him. For him not to pick up the first down, brings up about 3rd and a long 1.5 yards.
6:43 to play first quarter. The ball's at the Oak Ridge 45-yard line. Third down, a long yard to go for a first. I formation once again. Here's the handoff to Thomas. He is hit right at the line of scrimmage. He is short of the first down. That'll be 4th down and a yard to go. The ball at the 45-yard line. Coach Gaylor is usually very conservative in situations such as this, but he is not going to send the punt unit onto the field. It'll be 4th down and a yard to go. Coach Jimmy Gaylor, the head coach of the Clinton Dragons, has done a great job as the head coach, a former University of Tennessee player in his day. And the Wildcats on defense trying to stop Clinton. 4th down and about a yard to go.
David, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they came out and faked the dive up the middle and then came out and hit the tight end on this side. They've already run the ball. They already run that play twice and had a lot of success. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it here again.
High formation, Herrell under center. 4th down, they need about 2 yards to go, and now he's going to call a timeout. So time on the field, our score. 5:38 to play in the first quarter. It's 6-0. The Dragons on top. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Wide side of the field, Bruce. I rush you for the 6 to the wide side of the field. The corner back out there.
Might be a
Part of the Clinton High School band program. Tonight there'll be a 5th quarter. First Baptist Church, sponsored by First Baptist Youth Program. Concert by M.L. Morlock from Nashville. All are invited to attend.
Scott Munger along with Mark Haste and Nathan Forbes back here at Clinton Field. The Clinton Dragons now in punt position. They'll punt it all the way in the game for them is Rex O'Connor. And he'll do the honors, dropping back to receive the kick, Jason Altman. Mike Gibson did not practice all week long. Walked through a little bit yesterday and is not in there back in the punt return duties. Here's the snap. O'Connor looks at it and puts one off the side of his foot, angling it to the right side. It's going to take a good Clinton bounce and a roll inside the 15-yard line all the way down to the 10. Great punt by Rex O'Connor. Just kind of hit it off the side of his foot, and it worked beautifully for the Clinton Dragons.
Yeah, it's one of those good bad punts that he didn't hit it very well. Matter of fact, it was really an awful kick. But once it rolled, it ended up probably hitting about the 25-yard line, then rolling another 15 yards. Looks like Oak Ridge is going to take over right at the, it's kind of hard to tell, right probably at the 10-yard line.
Well, I have a moment. I'd like to wish Debbie Mallett a happy 40th birthday as the Wildcats come to the line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Receivers, Velbrock and Darian Milton here to the near side. Single man to the far left. Oak Ridge from the eye. And here comes Lucier to Shaun Bohanan. Shaun moves the ball forward and doesn't get a lot of yardage. And it'll be 2nd down for the Wildcats. 2nd down, and it looks like maybe about 8 yards to go. The clock is working, 5:08 to go in the first quarter. The Wildcats trailing 6-0 to the Clinton Dragons. We're live on AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12 tonight. Kind of a loud, probably an interesting noise on your radio. This press box is about as crowded as I've ever been in a press box before, probably because of the rain. As Lucier drops back and hands it off to Bohanan, there's a big hole across the 25. Shaun Bohanan up close to the 25-yard line. That should be a 1st down run for Shaun Bohanan, who found a big hole running behind his center, Chris Black. And indeed, it'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats.
And David, from up here, it really looked like the offensive line just really did a great job on the Clinton defensive Dragons. There's a big, huge hole, opens up, but the biggest thing really, it gives Oak Ridge some good field position. They're not good field position necessarily, but it gives them some breathing room down there instead of having them backed up in their own end zone.
Up to the line will come Lucier once again. Sisk and Bohanan behind him, and the pitch will go to Shaun Bohanan. He is hit in the backfield, really hit hard by somebody who really came in and just put his shoulder pads right into Shaun Bohanan. It'll be perhaps a loss in the play as Shaun Bohanan really got belted that time.
Really did. It looked like, I don't know if that was a stun or what, but Oak Ridge came out with a sweep. Really, Shaun Bohanan did a good job. He kind of turned right at the very end to have no gain, or he would have been stopped for a loss.
The ball's at the 23-yard line. It was a loss in the play. 2nd down, 11 yards to go. Velbrock here to the near side. 2 receivers to the left. Oak Ridge from the eye. Chad Lucier under center. Will hand it off to Bohanan. Gets a running start. Breaks into the secondary and just an arm tackle away from going the distance as he's tackled at around the 29-yard line. Somebody just barely got him right at the ankles, or he might have gone a lot farther than he did.
Absolutely, David. Oak Ridge came out with a sprint draw on the left side, and Shaun Bohanan saw a little crease back toward the middle of the field, and somebody tripped him up right at his, probably he'd gained 3 or 4 yards, and he ends up gaining gain of 5, but if that would have not been there, he would have gone the distance.
The rain's beginning to fall much harder here at Clinton Field as the Wildcats come to the line. Third down along for at first. The Wildcats from the eye again. Lucier will hand it off to Darian Melton. Melton across the 30, breaks a tackle, and is tackled right at the 30. He'll be short of the first down by about 2 or 3 yards. And once again, the Wildcats will be forced to punt. In rain conditions like this, it could be a game of field position, and the Dragons scored early, and they lead at 6-0, and it will not be one of those field position ball games with the conditions so poor.
What really is the rain, of course, is the equalizer. It's going to equalize your both the teams when you've got two good ones. Oak Ridge has got to get something going on the running game if they're going to have anything to do at all in this game.
Here comes Jason Altman's punt. It's high. A fair catch is signaled for. He might have touched it as the Wildcats Charlie Graham tries to cover it. Now it's going to go rolling out of bounds, and obviously was not touched by number 21 for them, Rex O'Connor. The Wildcats will go back on defense. The Dragons lead it by a score of 6-0. A crisp opening drive to start the ball game, and they missed the extra point because the snap was too high, and it's 6-0. A 14-yard pass from Scotty Herrell to Brennan Jones, a 4-play drive, covered 80 yards. We apologize. We had to
cut off Coach Joe Gaddis because they started the ball game about 3 minutes early here on the senior night, so they are actually, instead of like at Oak Ridge, we're usually a little bit behind. They were way ahead. They went ahead and started the ball game. Up to the line will come the Dragons. I formation, and timeout is asked for. And let's see, I guess it was a timeout asked for by Oak Ridge. So the 2:28 to play in the first quarter. It's 6-0 Dragons. Back in 60 seconds.
Here at Clinton, here comes Scotty Herrell running for his life and running out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. Joey Mingy chased him out and almost made what could have been considered a late hit, but he pulled up right at the last moment. Interesting that Joey Mingy is in there, a linebacker. I'm going to have to check out there with Joey Mingy starting a linebacker. That's unusual.
Well, you know, Dave, it also looks like Jason McCanley's starting back there in the secondary. Hadn't seen him in the starting lineup, so we don't know if there's some injuries going on.
He's in there for Mike Gibson.
Okay, so we'll just get some other people some rep. But, yeah, I hadn't seen Joey Mingy in the game this early, so good for him.
Up to the line of scrimmage will come Clinton. They gained about 6 on the previous play. The ball's at their own 45-yard line. 4 men on the front. Scotty Herrell under center. Receivers to the right. Man in motion. The pitch will go to the full tailback who was hit and dropped after about a yard loss. It was Shannon Thomas on the carry. As I mentioned, he was a student at Oak Ridge High School last year. Transferred over to Clinton. He's had a good sophomore year. It'll be third down and about 2 yards to go for Clinton. Leading 6-0 here in the first quarter. 2 minutes to play. We'll go back to the station throughout the night tonight for scores of other ball games, including the South Doyle Sevier County ball game and the Jefferson County Morristown East game. The winners and losers of those two particular ball games will have a big impact on the Wildcats playoff game next week. Up to the line, once again will come the Dragons. Power right to the left. They need about 2 yards for a first. The ball's at their own 47. Herrell will hand it off to number 12, Brennan Jones. He's across the 50, down to the 45, down to the 44-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons. This time, they did not give it to the tailback. They didn't let the quarterback run it. It was Brennan Jones who carries it for another Dragon first down.
Well, Clinton's really got the ball game going their way right now, David. They're mixing it up very well with the run and pass. Oak Ridge really doesn't know if they're going to run or pass. They're making it very difficult. But
here come the Dragons to the line, moving from right to left. They'll send Rex O'Connor here to the near side once again. The backfield from the eye, up to the line, Scotty Herrell. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 44-yard line. 4-man front, Herrell will pass across the way. The pass is complete to Brennan Jones across the 35, down to the 30-yard line where Brad Redmond makes a stop. Just little short little passes, and they're really doing an effective job for the Clinton offense.
What's that little pop pass, David? They fake the ball to the running back coming up the middle, and then the quarterback just stands up and ends up throwing the ball about 8 yards, but it's been very effective. Another first down for them. They're really getting the chains going.
Under a minute to play here in the first quarter. It's 6-0. The Dragons driving again. The ball at the 30-yard line. Single man to the far right, Tony Colston. Power eye to the left, first and 10. Scotty Herrell under center, 4-man front. The Dragons, as the quarterback Herrell won't run it, now he's sacked. He got a couple of yards, though. He was first hit by Brad Redmond, then finished off by John Dickens. Also, looks like Rocky Remine was there for the stop. It'll be second down and about 8 yards to go. one of the things Coach Gaddis has said, you don't want to let Herrell get free, is that will probably be the final play of the first quarter, and it is indeed the final play. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 60 seconds. We expect a close ball game tonight as the Dragons come to the line. Two receivers here to the near side. I formation again. Scotty Herrell under center. Four-man front for the Wildcats. Second down and a long 7 to go for a first. The ball at the 29. Here's the quarterback, Herrell, handing it off to Thomas. Thomas fumbles the ball at the 29-yard line, and Oak Ridge recovers. The Wildcats have recovered the ball. Thomas got blasted. Coming up with it for the Wildcats, I think, was Jared Carell, and that is the case. Carell recovers the Oak Ridge fumble, the Clinton fumble, and the Wildcats take over. First down, 10 yards to go.
That's a big play. I'm not exactly sure who was that recovered that, but Clinton definitely had some momentum going. Looks like Jared Carell, who's played he's had a great season all year, and ends up picks up the fumble. Oak Ridge is going to get the ball about the 30-yard line. They really need to get something going. The game's very early, but I'm sure they want to get some points on the board here very quickly.
Up to the line, Oak Ridge. Here comes Shaun Bohanan, 30, 35 to the 37-yard line. Bohanan to the 40, Bohanan to the 41. First down, 10 yards to go for Shaun Bohanan, who coming into that particular run had 9 yards, now has had 18 yards, and he'll have a first down run for the Wildcats. 11 minutes, 42 seconds to play in the second quarter. 6-0 our score. The ball's at the 41-yard line. Up to the line will come Oak Ridge. Velbrock here to the near side. McCadley to the far right. Oak Ridge from the I. Sisk and Bohanan. Lucier under center, Chris Black. Four-man front for the Dragons. Here comes the handoff. Stan Sisk. Sisk moves the ball to around the 43-yard line. The first carry of the night for Stan.
Well, it really wasn't. I just told Mark, I said, it looks like they might need to run a trap right here. There's nobody on the nose, and the linebackers for Clinton are probably about 5 yards deep. I would really think we might hear Stan Sisk's name a lot tonight if they keep in that formation on defense.
Second down, 7 yards to go for the Wildcats. Velbrock here to the near side. Mike Gibson's in the ball game as a wide out to the far right. Oak Ridge from the I, trailing 6-0 in the second quarter. Lucier under center, and he'll drop straight back to pass. Little screen pass, complete for a gain of about 3 or 4 to Mike Gibson. His first catch. They had to come back for the ball, but it was a completed pass. It'll be short of a first down. The ball is at the 47-yard line. The Wildcats have only picked up 2 first downs in the ball game. They trail 6-0 with 10:43 to play in the first half.
I really think this is a big play right here, David. Oak Ridge got the ball. Looks like third and a long 3. They really need a first down. Keep the chains going. Get something going. Get some momentum going as well.
Lucier under center. Third down, about 4 yards to go. Shaun Bohanan is the tailback, and here he goes. Shaun picks up first down yardage across the 50, moves the ball to the 45, to the 44, and all the way down to the 40-yard line of the Dragons. First down, 10 yards to go, and that was one of the most determined runs of the season for Shaun Bohanan.
You know, David, I was getting ready to say the same thing. He can tell that Shaun Bohanan does not want to lose this Clinton team. We've seen him make great run after great run, but as far as determination and just fortitude, that had to have been one of his best runs. He ran like a man possessed, picked up a big first down, and they've got some stuff going. Great run, Shaun Bohanan.
First down, 10 yards to go as the ball's put down at the 41-yard line of the Dragons. Mike Gibson here to the near side has a little hip injury, but he's a wide out here. Single man wide to the right. McCadley. Here's Sisk with the call. Stan Sisk carries across the 35-yard line up to around the 34, where it'll be a fine gain for the senior fullback who came into that carry with 1 carry for 3 yards, and he picks up 5 or 6 yards on that particular carry. It'll be indeed a gain of about 7. It'll be second down and 3 yards to go. 9:30 and counting in a very, very fast-moving ball game. Here come the Wildcats to the line. Gibson to the far right. The Wildcats moving from right to left here in the second quarter. Velbrock here to the near side. Oak Ridge with Lucier under center. Second down and 3. The senior quarterback will hand it off to Bohanan. Bohanan looking for a hole, finding one, breaks the 3 tackles and moves the ball for a first down as he comes across the 30, down to the 25, down to the 24-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. He was hit in the backfield, Scott, broke that tackle and picked up the first down.
He really did. Somebody had him pinned in there and didn't wrap him up, and you have to wrap up with Shaun Bohanan. You have to hit him down low, too. He's got that big upper body. You're not going to be able to tackle him high. And Shaun's really running hard. It's nice to see him. He's got 51 yards on 8 carries already.
Here come the Wildcats to the line. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 26-yard line. Wildcats with Brock and Gibson here to the near side. McCadley to the far right. The pitch to Shaun Bohanan. There's a big hole. He crossed the 25-yard line to the 20. Might have fumbled the ball at the 19-yard line. The Wildcats say they have it. The officials have not made any signal at all. It will indeed be Oak Ridge's ball as the Wildcats recover inside the 20 at around the 16-yard line. The clock moving at 8:46 to play. 6-0 Dragons. It'll be a gain of about 8 on the play for Shaun Bohanan. It'll bring up second down and about 2 yards to go. Joe Sterner's in the ball game for the Wildcats, starting on the offensive line, along with Casey Jones, Josh Young, and John Dickens. The Cadleys are wide out to the right. Brock and Gibson here to the near side. The ball's at the 17. Sisk and Bohanan, high formation. Second down, a long 2 for a first. Ball at the 17-yard line. Lucier wants to pass, feeling some pressure. There's the man in the end zone. He drops it. Jason McCadley had a touchdown, but he just couldn't quite hold on to it. Defending out there for the Dragons looked like a Jason Weber. It'll be third down at about 3.
Hey, he didn't catch the ball, but that was a big-time play Jason McCadley had that time, David. The ball was thrown a little bit to the inside, and Jason McCadley actually stopped and cut across the defender just to get a hand on the ball. Had it for just a second, but couldn't hold on to it. But it was a great effort just to get his hands on the ball.
Bell Brock to the far right. The Wildcats fans trying to get on the ball here. John Dickens tries to get them to their feet. Third down and 2. Stan Sisk with a call. Sisk doesn't get a lot. He's hit at around the line of scrimmage and moves the ball to the 15-yard line. It's 6-0. Oak Ridge trailing. And it'll be third down, actually fourth down, and about a yard to go for a first. And I don't even see Granger Merler even making a move towards the field, so the Wildcats will go for it on fourth down and a yard to go. Exactly 7:45 to play in the first half. 6-0, the Dragons on top of the Wildcats. Here comes Sisk and Bohanan behind Chad Lucier. The Wildcats need a little more than a yard to go for a first. 2 receivers to the right, Brock and Gibson. Here's Lucier on the reverse, the double reverse to McCadley. McCadley in the backfield, breaks 3 tackles, still down the sideline, will be hit and blasted, and he fumbled the ball out of bounds, and Clinton will take over. Wildcats went for a double reverse there. They needed only a yard to go on the play, and with 7:16 to play, 6-0 our score, and the Dragons will take over.
Well, it's a good job that time on the defense, David. The Oak Ridge came out, on a 4th and 1, something like that. You would think that you'd see Shaun Bohanan on the sprint draw or on the sweep or something like that. Oak Ridge tried to stun them and ran the double reverse. As soon as, I think it was Mike Gibson got the ball, it could have been Bohanan, he got hit and kind of disrupted the play. McCadley really did a good job just to not lose a whole bunch of yards. He ended up really making something out of nothing, but Clinton will take over on down.
First down, 10 yards to go. Up to the line will come the Dragons. They'll send 2 receivers here to the near side. Up to the line they'll come. I formation, Scotty Herrell, as the rain begins to fall once again. They lead 6-0. 4-man front Oak Ridge. Here's the handoff, 4-0, right up the middle. It'll be no gain. It'll be second down and 10 yards to go. So after the fumble, the Wildcats unable to capitalize. They only needed a yard on that play and weren't able to get the first down. So the clock is still ticking. We're down to 7 minutes to play here in the first half. There's an injured Dragon down on the field. Let's take a quick break. We'll send it back to Nathan Forbes. We'll be back in 60 seconds. 7 minutes to play here in the first half. The Dragons lead at 6-0. They have it second down and about 9.5 yards to go on a very, very chewed up field here at Clinton. The ball's at around the 27-yard line. Up to the line they'll come. Scotty Herrell is the quarterback. They'll come from the I. Man in motion here to the near side. Single receiver to the left. Herrell will drop back to pass. He's in trouble, running for his life. Here's the pass. Intercepted by Jason Altman. Altman makes the catch at around the 40-yard line. Great play by Jason Altman, anticipating the pass. It was intended for number 49, Jordan Holbrook. Great play, Jason Altman.
It really was, David. And if the ball would have been thrown just a little higher, he had 6 points on that. He kind of had to dive and to make the interception. That they ended up came on their right side on a flag route toward the Clinton sideline. Jason McCadley Jason Altman just breaks right into a great interception. Big play for Oak Ridge.
Let's see if the Wildcats can capitalize on this Dragon turnover. They trail 6-0. Lucier will hand it off to Bohanan. Bohanan across the 35. Bohanan down to the 30, down to the 25-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Shaun Bohanan, who already has 59 yards in the ballgame, moves the ball all the way down to the 25-yard line. Will indeed be first down, 10 yards to go.
I believe Shaun is hitting the hole harder than I've seen him hit all year. He's just, as soon as you turn around, he's already 3 or 4 yards deep in the backfield of Clinton, and it's going to be a long night if he keeps running like that.
Mike Gibson wide to the right side. Here to the near side is Velbrock, Stan Sisk, and Shaun Bohanan. Chad Lucer's at quarterback. The ball's at the 26-yard line of the Dragons. Lucer will pitch to Shaun Bohanan. Bohanan tries to get outside, cuts back inside, cuts across the field, and he'll take it into the end zone and score! Touchdown, Oak Ridge! Wildcats, Shaun Bohanan took the ball to the right. They cut diagonally across the field, and the Wildcats have tied the game.
Another unbelievable run by Shaun Bohanan. They had him hemmed up. They ran the sweep on the right side, and he got probably 3 or 4 yards deep into the secondary, and then just cut probably 180 degrees and ended up scoring on the left side of the Clinton's field, and just another great run by Shaun Bohanan.
And into the game to give the Wildcats their first lead of the night is Granger Marler. The Wildcats and Dragons are tied at 6. The Wildcats do capitalize on this turnover. It'll be Chad Lucer to hold. Here's the high snap. Here's the kick by Granger, and the kick is up and is good. Here's Granger Marler's kick. It's long. It'll be at the 1-yard line. He fields it at there, to the 5, to the 10, here to 15. Jason Altman knocks him down at the 20. Another big lick. Jason Altman having a good first half.
He really is, David. I was watching Joe Gaddis Jr. that time going down the field. It's always fun to watch him. He got hemmed in just a little bit, dove, and kind of slowed up the ball carrier, and then Jason Altman came in and finished him off.
7-6, Oak Ridge on top. We're live on AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12 tonight. 5:42 to play. We'll be keeping up with the other scores, and we'll do that at halftime. And at the end of our broadcast, after we go off the air, we'll have the highlight show, and plus we'll finish off the 5A bracket and the playoffs for next week. Here come the Dragons to the line. First down, 10 yards to go. 2 receivers to the left. Oak Ridge on defense. Herrell will pass. Rolling to his left. Throws it out there. Complete for a first down and more. Across the 35 to the 40. The pass was complete to Brennan Jones once again. And I tell you, they have done a good job throwing the ball tonight.
Really is. The tight end's getting a lot of work for them, David. Harrell, the quarterback, just rolls out to his left. The big tight end runs a little fade route and hits him perfectly for a big pickup, big first down. They've got the chains moving. Looks like first about the 41-yard line. Kind
of a light rain still falling here at Clinton Field. The Wildcats and Dragons battling it out here in this Region 2 ball game. 5:18 to play. Oak Ridge on top, 7-6. We're in the first half. I formation once again. 2 receivers here to the near side. A single man to the left. 4-man front. Up to the line will come Herrell. He'll pass, rolling for his life. The pass is complete at around the 40-yard line. No gain on the play. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. The pass was complete, though, to Tony Colston, 5'11", 140-pounder. And it'll be second down and 10 yards to go.
David, it's almost offensive pass interference that time. The inside receiver was blocking for the outside receiver while the ball was in the air, and you have to watch that play again. That could very easily be called offensive pass interference.
Up the line will come the Dragons. Rex O'Connor here to the near side. Single man, that's Brennan Jones out to the left. Once again, to the I formation they'll come from the Dragon 40. Second down, 10. Herrell dropping back to pass, feeling a little pressure, breaks a tackle, now dumps it out that way. The pass is incomplete. Joey Mingy, Velbrock, McCadley, and Altman out there defending, but we also had heavy pressure on the quarterback, Herrell, and the pass is incomplete. Clock is stopped now, 4:22 to play. Scotty Herrell already 7 of 9 passing for 123 yards in the first half. As the Wildcats lead it by a score of 7-6. If it were not for 2 turnovers, Scott, the Dragons have been able to move the ball. Total offense already, they have 142 yards. They've only rushed the ball for 19 yards in the first half. Third down, 10 yards to go. Single receiver to the left. Herrell from the eye once again. He'll pass, pumps once, now might run. He's going to be blasted, breaks a tackle, and picks up a first down across the 50-yard line. Great play by Scotty Herrell. He's not a big guy, about 5'7", but he picks up a first down.
Well, David, the Clinton coaching staff is screaming, and really they have a right to be. Pendergrass just held the Holbrook, the tight end, and just held him, and the officials didn't see it, but it looks like Herrell ran for the first down anyway. Or actually, it's going to be very close.
And indeed, they'll move Gaines. And as they're tangled up on the Oak Ridge sideline across the way. Good crowd on hand here considering the weather. The Oak Ridge stands across the way, totally full. The Oak Ridge Band is in attendance to our right. The Clinton and the Oak Ridge Bands will play at halftime. We'll have scores of other ball games. We'll have marks, statistics, and we'll go back. While we have a moment here, Nathan, do you have any scores of interest you want to pass along to us? I guess not. We'll just keep it right here. Nathan is hard at work back at the station, getting scores of other ball games, including the Morristown East ball game, and they're taking on Jefferson County and Sevier County and South Doyle, Farragut, and Carnes. They're having a problem with the chains over there, and that's why we have a little delay here. And Nathan, now if you're ready. Thanks a lot. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Dragons. The ball in Oak Ridge territory after a fine run by their quarterback. Up to the line they'll come. High formation once again. Playing McAmis is the fullback. Thomas is the tailback. Single receiver to the left. Here's movement by Oak Ridge. And the way Jared Herrell came crashing across the line, you'd have to think that he was drawn offsides. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to say it's going to be encroachment against the Wildcats, and that'll cost them 5. And John Dickens will come back into the game, and out of the game will come Jared Herrell. So Herrell will check out of the contest, and that's going to cost Oak Ridge 5. Up to the line they'll come as the rain beginning to fall heavy once again. 3:42 and counting, 7-6 Oak Ridge. The ball's at the 43-yard line. Clinton headed to the playoffs. Probably a road trip to Johnston City Science Hill. Four-man front Oak Ridge. 1st and 5. Here's Thomas with the call. Moves the ball, fumbles the ball again. The ball's on the ground. I think Oak Ridge has recovered. Wildcats have indeed recovered the fumble right here at the 37-yard line. Indeed, Oak Ridge will get it. I don't think Thomas ever really had it. Wildcats come up with it as Rocky Remine underneath there with the ball.
Well, it really is Thomas, the tailback. Forgive me for saying this, but he is running scared. He did not look like he ran that ball. He was looking to get hit. He fumbled. Was not a very impressive play whatsoever. Oak Ridge picks up the ball up. It looks like about the 39-yard line.
Maybe he didn't play football at Oak Ridge last year because he was afraid to practice with those guys.
Well, he really was. I mean, I hate to say that, but he really looked like he's running very timid.
High formation. Here come the Wildcats from the 38-yard line. Sisk and Bohanan, receivers left and right. Chad will give it off to Bohanan. 40 up to the 45-yard line. Gains about 6 yards in the play as Shaun brings it up to the 45. Not a lot of time. 3:14 to play. And I like it. Actually, when the ball's right here in front of us, this is about the only time we really can see clearly what's going on down on the field. Up to the line will come the Wildcats here in a second. Chad Lucier has the play from the sideline. Joe Gaddis is the head coach of the Wildcats. He drifts out Vilbrock and Mike Gibson to the far right. Shaun Bohanan is over 100 yards already in the first half. The ball's at the 44-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Here's Bohanan. Big hole. 45-50. He brings the ball for a first down up to the 50-yard line. And this is going to be the Shaun Bohanan night because he's not getting the big 70 and 80-yard runs, but he's getting 7 and 8 yards. Very hard running for Shaun. And there's another first down.
I tell you what, if I was Coach Gaddis or Coach Stevens, I think I'd run that play every time and they could stop it. If you continually get 7, 8, 6, 5 yards every time you run the ball, then just keep at it until they can stop it.
2 minutes, 34 seconds to play in the first half. The Wildcats on top 7-6. Vilbrock is a receiver here to the near side. I formation again from the 50-yard line. Stan Sisk with a call this time. Sisk moves the ball and then fumbles it, and the ball's on the ground. A late call, and it's going to be Clinton ball. Clinton comes up with the football. Very seldom in his career have I ever seen Stan Sisk fumble the ball, and the Wildcats turn the ball over.
I agree, David. As many times we've seen him run, it's the first time I can ever remember seeing him fumble. Looks like he had a good gain, maybe 5 or 6 yards, and then it looks like he got stood up and somebody tried to strip it. The ball comes pounding out, and Clinton, the Dragons have good field position really on their own 45-yard line.
Rain is coming down very, very hard. 2:15 to play here in the first half. 7-6, Oak Ridge on top. Scotty Herrell fakes the handoff, rolling to his left. Now my run, cuts it across the field at the 45. He's dragged down by Joey Mingy at around the 43-yard line. Nice run by Scotty Herrell. Another first down carry. We're down to 2:05 to play. First down, 10 yards to go for the Dragons. A gain of 12 for the senior quarterback. Up to the line they'll come here in a second. Coach Jimmy Gaylor is sent to play in from the sideline as the rain continues to fall down hard. The field is a mess down there. We've already seen, I think, 3-4 turnovers in the first half. Up to the line, 4 turnovers, Mark says. Single receiver to the left. Herrell from the I formation. 4-man front, 1st and 10. Herrell will fake the pass. He's sacked by John Dickens back at the 50-yard line. Big John came crashing in there, and Herrell had no place to go except eat the turf here at Clinton City Field. And a timeout, I think, is going to be called. And a flag down on the play back here at the 26-yard line. Very seldom do you see a flag so far up the field here, Scott.
Yeah, it's way down the field on a play that, the ball wasn't thrown. They're pointing to Oak Ridge. Actually, that's a very difficult call. I don't know what it is. It looks like holding against Oak Ridge.
That's kind of an interesting play considering he was sacked almost immediately as he pulled away from the center, but I guess that is the call. The penalty will go against the Dragons, and that's unbelievable because that play, he just pulled away from the center and was sacked, and then the hold was back here in the secondary. Jason Altman, one of the defenders, is out there talking with the official, maybe about an equipment problem or something. It's hard to believe. You don't see a hold that far back. Coach Gaddis looking for an indication, and they're going to step the penalty off. Yes. And they're going to step the penalty yardage off against the Dragons. And I don't know about this one, Scott. A minute 41 to play.
It's definitely hard to see from where we were, and nobody up here saw it. But that's, you look at it as far as total yards, that's about a 25 or 30-yard penalty because, we had them stacked. Now they're marching the ball down, looks like about the 18, 19-yard line. Oak Ridge doesn't even look like the officials know where they're going to spot the ball.
Coach Gaddis is out on the field talking with the officials. They won't even listen to him. Here come the Wildcats, and now they don't even know where the ball should be. They haven't even figured out. You're exactly right, Scott. The heavy-set official didn't know where to put the ball down and still is trying to figure out. He's talking with the referee down there. They don't even know where the ball is supposed to be. A minute 20 out, a 32-yard penalty, Mark says. I formation once again. Up to the line, four-man front. Herrell from the 18-yard line. Now the clock will be wound. The pitch will go to the tailback who tries to get inside, and he moves the ball inside the 15. The ball carrier is Jason Weber. As the clock continues to tick, 7-6 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats on top here. The Dragons driving here with a minute 14 to play, aided by a 32-yard penalty. After the Wildcats had sacked Scotty Herrell, a penalty way up the field. The Wildcats, the ball's at the 14-yard line. The Wildcats trying to overcome that and stop the Dragons here inside the 15. At the 14, second down to about 5. I formation once again. Herrell rolling to his left, feeling a little pressure. Here's a wide open man at the 5-yard line, but guess what? He can't catch the ball. He drops it. That's Tony Colston. That was easily going to be a first and goal situation, if not a touchdown. Just couldn't quite hold on to the slippery wet ball.
Yeah, David, I don't think he's going to score on that play, but they certainly get the ball down about the 3 or 4 yard line. The ball was just a hair underthrown and actually thrown a little bit behind him, but the receiver should have definitely had it. Brings up third and about 6 with 47.1 seconds to go in this first half.
The heavy-set official is holding the ball at around the 14-yard line, keeping it dry with a towel, which is good for all concerned. It's Scotty Herrell is under center. Number 64 wants to Magaha. I formation once again, single receiver to the left. Herrell wants to pass across the man. The pass is complete. Touchdown, Dragons. Great play. Really some pretty coverage. The pass is made, the reception is made by Jordan Holbrook, and it's a touchdown for the Dragons.
What's that tight end little pop pass? They've run it 3 times now very successfully. The quarterback fakes in the receiver. Looks like they're going to take a timeout. They're going to go for 2. We'll take what.
Scotty Herrell brings his team up. 12-7. The Dragons on top of the Wildcats, scoring here late in the second quarter. Herrell under center, I formation, going for the 2-point conversion. Here's the quarterback, back to pass. In trouble, fires it into the end zone. Pass is batted down nicely by Oak Ridge's Jason Altman, and the 2-point conversion try fails. Oak Ridge will be receiving the kickoff. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Back here at Clinton, here's the kickoff, a little squib kick fielded by Oak Ridge. Charlie Graham, he flips it back to Bohanan at the 30, 35 to the 40. Shaun Bohanan to the 45 to the 50. Shaun Bohanan down the right sideline, goes out of bounds inside Dragon territory all the way down to the 42-yard line. I think it was Charlie Graham who made the pitch back to Shaun Bohanan. A great return, Oak Ridge.
Well, we'll give an assist to Charlie Graham that time, David. They ran the little squib kick and squirted down on the ground. Charlie gets it and finds, turns it back around and laterals it to Bohanan. Shaun has a great return. Oak Ridge has great field position on their own, on Clinton's 41-yard line.
33 seconds to play. The ball at the 40, as Scott said, up to the line, Oak Ridge. McCadley to the right, along with Mike Gibson. Phil Brock here to the near side. Oak Ridge from the aisle. Lucier under center. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. 33 seconds to play. Here's the handoff to Bohanan. Bohanan at the 36-yard line. Tackled at that point. 27 seconds and counting. The clock is now stopped. 25.5. Second down, 5 yards to go up to the line. Oak Ridge, 4 receivers in the pattern. Chad Lucier under center, 25 seconds to play. Lucier wants to pass, fires the pass complete to Bill Brock at the 30-yard line, gets out of bounds at around the 25 with exactly 17.8 seconds to play in the first half. It's a first down reception for the Wildcats. I think it was Brock. Mike Gibson was out there blocking for him. It'll be 1st and 10 at around the 23-yard line of the Dragons.
I think that also is probably going to put them in Granger-Marlowe range if they end up having to kick a field goal. Bill Brock did a good job of getting out of bounds with the clock stopping, and they still got one timeout left as well.
17.8 seconds to play in the first half. The Wildcats trailing. Lucier under center. Wildcats with the I formation. Sisk and Bohanan from the 27. Here's the handoff to Bohanan. Oh, he trips up inside the 20-yard line. He had a touchdown right there if he hadn't have lost his footing.
Huge hole. Great call that time, David. There was a huge hole opened up. Somebody, I don't know if it may have even been one of his own linemen's feet that got tangled up. But Shaun's down there clapping his hands. He knows he could have had it.
Mike Gibson to the right. Jason McCadley and Shaun Bohanan here to the near side. Oak Ridge with a single setback. That's Sisk. Lucier will pass. Here's the man in the end zone. Incomplete. Exactly 6.7 seconds to play. And I tell you, they had single coverage out there with Bohanan. The pass, if it was just up a little bit, that's another touchdown for the Wildcats. And now Granger-Marlowe will come into the end zone or come into the game to try to tack on 3 points on the scoreboard.
That's not a bad play right here, David. You don't if you get sacked or anything, you're not going to be able to get a field goal. So it looks like Oak Ridge is going to try a field goal on 3rd down, and Granger-Marlowe does indeed come into the game.
It'll be a 35-yard field goal attempt with Lucier to hold on the muddy part of the field. High snap, lots of pressure. The kick is on its way. Looks good. It is good. So with no time left in the first half, the Wildcats put 3 on the board and go to the locker room, trailing the Clinton Dragons. 12-10 our score. The Dragons on top. The rain has stopped here at Clinton. Here's the kick. The line drive kick will be fielded by Jason Altman at the 20. Altman cuts back to the left, lowers his shoulder, and moves the ball to the 26-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. Jason Altman did a pretty good thing. He tucked the ball and was not going to be stripped of the ball, was not going to fumble. The Wildcats will start this drive at the 27-yard line.
He really was, and as soon as he got the ball, too, he took one little look behind him, but Shaun Bohanan actually had to come over, and he looked behind the wrong shoulder, but he was thinking about lateraling as well, but he did a very good job by holding on to the ball. Oak Ridge will take over 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line.
Here come the Wildcats to the line. Lucier at quarterback, Sisk and Bohanan, receivers left and right. It's Brock and Gibson to the far left, McCadley to the right. Here's Bohanan. Bohanan hit at the line of scrimmage, bounces off and gains about, 2 or 3 yards on the play. The Wildcats moving from left to right here in the third quarter. As I look at the American flag to our right, it was almost standing straight up with the wind blowing hard towards the Oak Ridge fans as we look from the home side here at Clinton City Field. It was a gain of about 4 on the play for Shaun. He has 121 yards in the ball game. Up to the line will come Oak Ridge. Second down, 6 yards to go. Mike Gibson and McCadley here to the near side. Bill Brock to the right. Oak Ridge from the eye. 2nd and 6. Lucier will hand it to Bohanan. Straight up the middle he goes. Carries the ball to the 35-yard line, and that's where he is tackled. Gains about 2 or so. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. 11 minutes to play third quarter. The Dragons have led most of the way. They lead at 12-10.
Hey, I looked up on the play, David, and John Dickens had his man, number 64, probably about 7 or 8 yards back in the backfield. He just drove him, kept driving him, and just a tremendous effort by John Dickens.
Chris Black, the first man to the line. He's the center for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge needs about 3 yards for a first. I formation, deep in the tailback position is Shaun Bohanan. Lucier will pitch to Bohanan. Bohanan looking for a hole, cuts to the outside, gets a big block, turns the corner at the 40 to the 43-yard line. I think it was Mike Gibson out there, I think, who sprung him for that extra yardage, and it is indeed a first down run for Oak Ridge.
And that's exactly why you stay with your blocks. That one, really, where Mike Gibson was, he didn't really even need the block because he was nowhere near where the ball carrier was going. And all of a sudden, Shaun Bohanan's right breathing down his neck. He blocks the guy, just stays in front of him for just a second, just long enough for Shaun Bohanan to get past. The free safety came over and made the tackle.
McCadley here to the near side, Brock and Gibson to the left. Oak Ridge 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line. Lucier wants to pass across the way. The pass is complete for a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. They put him down officially at the 45-yard line. Bill Brock on the reception, his second catch of the night. He gains a few yards on the play. His forward progress is deemed stopped at the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 4 yards. It'll bring up second down and a long 6 to go for a first. 9:44 to play here in this third quarter. The Wildcats trailing 12-10. Gibson and McCadley here to the near side of the Wildcats, quickly to the line. Up they come, I formation again. From their own 40, here's Bohanan. Bohanan runs into his own man, and he is going to be losing yards on the play. I think he ran right into Josh Young, who had been pushed back, and it'll be for the Wildcats a loss on the play. 9:17 to play, third quarter. Oak Ridge trailing 12-10 against the Clinton Dragons here at Clinton City Field. Wildcats will be in the playoffs next week at Blankenship Field, probably against Sevier County the way things are going in the Upper East Tennessee ball games. Here's Mike Gibson and Bill Brock here to the near side. McCadley to the left again. Oak Ridge needing about 8 yards now for a first. Lucier will pitch to Bohanan. Bohanan thought about passing. He will. Here's the pass. Complete. Mike Gibson, first down. Gibson at the 40. Gibson down the sideline, 35. Stays in bounds all the way to the 32. Shaun Bohanan has completed his first pass of the season, and it goes for a first down.
That's a big play right there. It looked like he had intentions of throwing it, and then he kind of tucked it, and then he ended up throwing it again. Mike Gibson made a great play and did a good job running the ball after he got it. He's gone out, though. It looks like he's holding his wrist. I believe he's hurt his wrist on that play, David.
The Wildcats of Oak Ridge trailing 12-10. They have it in Dragon territory. The ball is at the 34-yard line of Clinton. The Wildcats getting Daria Milton into the ball game for Mike Gibson, who is indeed over there next to Coach Joe Gaddis, holding onto his wrist and his hip that he injured last week. It's Milton and McCadley to the left, Brock here to the right from the Oak Ridge. Lucier from the 34-yard line, straight drop, plenty of time, pumps once, goes down to Brock. It's going to go for a touchdown at the 10, makes the move at the 8-yard line. It is not a touchdown. The ball was just underthrown. If he had hit him on stride, that's an easy 6.
Well, it's a great play at that time, David. They came out and just like the old, they ran the out and up, which the quarterback Lucier comes out and pumps the ball, fakes it, makes the defender come up and bite, and then Bill Brock just runs by him. Great throw, great catch. Looks like Oak Ridge got the ball on about the 8-yard line.
Hey, Scott, we got to give a lot of credit to the Oak Ridge line. They're giving Chad a lot of time to throw.
And they have all night.
First down for the Wildcats. The ball is at the 9-yard line. Here's the handoff to Bohanan. Bohanan to the 8-yard line. That's where he's tackled. It's going to be slow going from here on out, the Wildcats. It'll be second down, goal to go. 8:23 to play. We're in the third quarter. The Wildcats trailing 12-10. Wildcats, Coach Joe Gaddis signaling into the play to his senior quarterback, Chad Lucier, who will bring it to the rest of the team. As I look for Mike Gibson on the Oak Ridge sideline, standing right by the coaching staff, trying to get back in the ball game. And up to the line will come Oak Ridge. McCadley to the left, Brock and Milton here to the right. Sisk and Bohanan behind Lucier. Second down, goal to go. The ball's at the 8-yard line. Movement by the Oak Ridge Wildcats, Josh Young, and that's going to cost Oak Ridge 5 yards. 7:52 to play. We're in the third quarter. 12-10 our score.
That really hurts right down there, David. You know, down there you got the ball on the 8-yard line. It's hard enough to get the ball in anyway, but then when you make a mistake like that, it's doubly tough. Oak Ridge now has it second and goal from about the 14-yard line.
And up to the line will come the Wildcats. The play is brought in this time as Milton and Brock drift out left to the left side. McCadley to the right. Oak Ridge from the eye. Young and Dickens here on the right. On the left side, Casey Jones and Joe Sterner. Up to the line, here comes Lucier, taking the reverse, dumps the man. Here's the pass at the 5. That's Stan Sisk inside, fumbles the ball out of bounds. He's down at around the 5-yard line. That's the first time all year that they've thrown the ball to Stan Sisk, and that was one of our big plays last year.
It was actually 2 years ago, I believe, David, that they seemed like they ran. It was the bread and butter play with Stan Sisk out in the fullback. They faked the reverse and come out on the bootleg. Chad Lucia did a great job. Just kind of lobbed it up and finessed it over there. As soon as he caught the ball, there was a defender there and fumbled the ball out of bounds for another yard. So it looks like they've got the ball about the 4. Looks like they're putting it down on the 5-yard line.
Third down, goal to go from that point. The Wildcats trying to get into the end zone, trailing 12-10. Lucia under center, pitch to Shaun Bohanan. Here he goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. The Wildcats score with 6:46 to play in the third quarter, and the Wildcats take the lead once again by a score of 16-12.
And I believe they're going to go for 2 right here, David. Actually, maybe not. They may want to call timeout here. I don't know. And they're going up. Right now, they're up by 4 with going for 2, may put them up by 6. And it looks like they are going to call a timeout. We'll take one ourselves. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
And now they're going to try to go for 2. Sisk and Bohanan behind Lucia. Up to the line, Oak Ridge. The pitch to Shaun Bohanan. There he is. Goes into the end zone. That's the 2-point conversion. He high steps it into the end zone. And Oak Ridge ups their lead to 6 points. Here's the kick return by the Clinton Dragons. They return it to around the 29-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats back on top, 18-12.
I'll tell you what, now it's really time for the defense to hunker down and not let Clinton have anything. I think they really need to come out. They can give up a couple first downs, but nothing big. You don't want this team to get back into this game. I would expect Clinton to come back and do the same thing they did very successfully. The little pop passes, the outs to the tight ends, and as they are lined up on the 30-yard line.
Typical Oak Ridge Clinton ball game. You're listening to the game live on AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. From the eye, Scotty Herrell's at quarterback, first and 10 at the 29-yard line. Herrell will drop back to pass. Here comes some pressure, wants to crank it up. Now he's in trouble, running for his life, feeling bodies in his face. He's sacked. Intentional grounding. There goes the call. Right down at the 25-yard line as he was just about to get blasted. He got rid of a terribly weak pass as he was in the grasp, and it is indeed going to be intentional grounding against Scotty Herrell and the Dragons, and he's hurt.
Yeah, no doubt. I believe it was, who was that, David, that came in on the back? I believe it was Shane Wiseman, had him and got him, tackled him for a loss. Right at the very last minute, as he was going down, he just kind of hurls at the old, what's the guy's name for the Raiders who did the old Stabler pass is what he tried to do. The officials were there. They're big penalty right now for intentional grounding. It's also a loss of down.
Well, I tell you, Shane Wiseman's fired up down there as he got credit, would have gotten credit for that sack. It's a big loss. Back to the 20-yard line, loss of 10 on it. It'll be second down and 20 yards to go. 6:26 to play here in the third quarter, 18-12, Oak Ridge on top. I formation, single man to the far right, Colston, I believe. Herrell barks the play, looking at a 4-man front set by the Wildcats. Thomas back in at tailback. Long wait here as they try to get their play off. Herrell wants to pass. Across the way, pass is almost intercepted by Joe Gaddis. Joe almost had it, and it's incomplete.
David, they came out with the slant in, and actually the receiver was flanked out. He was probably about 25 yards over on the sideline. That's really too far to throw that ball. Joe Gaddis from his cat position came over, got a hand on it. He may have had that with a dry ball, I'm not sure, but made a good play nonetheless just to get his hands on it. 3rd and 20.
What a great ball game to watch here. So intense.
It really is. It's great being up here in this close press box. You hear all their announcers. You hear the coaches calling the plays. It's really fun being up here.
6:20 to play in the third quarter. It's now third down and 19 yards to go. The ball at the 20-yard line. I formation, single man to the right, 4-man front. Here comes Herrell handing it off to his tailback, who's blasted by Jared Carell and one other Wildcat, Brad Redmond. It might have been, yes, indeed, the Wildcats making the stop. Gain of only about 3 yards. It'll be fourth down. The Wildcats are going to get the ball right back. The Dragons about to punt, and Jason Altman is standing back at near midfield to return the punt for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge on top, 18-12. We're in the third quarter.
Well, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Oak Ridge really needed a good defensive stand, and here it is. 3 plays and out, and also the big penalty helped too. Backs them up 10 yards. We'll get it 10 yards closer, hopefully.
Rex O'Connor will punt the ball away as Jason Altman standing back at around the 50-yard line. Rex back at the 10, waiting for it eventually. 4th down and long. High snap, not a lot of pressure. Here's the kick. It's very, very short. It's a knuckleball, and it hits one of the Dragon players. Hits the Clinton player at around the 47-yard line. A big mass of humanity down at around the 35, but they just did not give Jason Altman any kind of room to make that reception. It hit one of the Dragons right on the backside, and the Wildcats are going to have great field position.
Yes, they are, David. It looks like the penalty happened right on Clinton's, but it looks like about the 48-yard line. They didn't give him. Matter of fact, they were there before the ball was there, which is a big penalty. So that I'm not sure if that's I believe that's a 10-yard penalty. So it looks like Oak Ridge is going to get the ball about the 38, at least around the 40-yard line.
Up to the line will come the Wildcats, and the student section of the Clinton Dragons taunting Shaun Bohanan in the end zone seats to our left, and Shaun just kind of looking back that way as they're talking about it down here. Now the officials are changing things. They put the ball down. The ball is at the 35-yard line. The Wildcats want a little clarification on where would be the best place to take the ball. And the Wildcat captain is, I guess, is Chad Lucier out there talking with the referee. We've already seen one blown call by the officials tonight. And the flag is still down on the field at the Clinton 48-yard line. The official having a long discussion with Chad, and now Chad trying to relay the information to Coach Joe Gaddis. Coach Gaddis has given the official, given Chad the indication of what they want to do, and now the referee over to give us the signal. Indeed, it's going to be interference against the Clinton Dragons, and Oak Ridge will have it first down.
Where's the penalty?
And
I mean, that's the point of the foul. There's no penalty on that, David. Why? You tell me why there's not something marked off there.
5:18 to play. The Wildcats will get it right where the infraction occurred at the 48-yard line. So I guess that's the thing to do every time. Just hit the...
Exactly. That gives you there's no penalty there whatsoever. That's ridiculous.
Here's Shaun Bohanan across the 50 to the 45. Shaun Bohanan to the 40, breaks another tackle to the 38-yard line. That's close to another first down run. And I agree with that, Shaun. Or Scott, that's Shaun. You didn't look anything like Shaun when you were playing. But anyway.
Not even close.
But, why don't you just do that every time? And
I think what Coach Stephen over here said, that he said that the other penalty may have been that they would have had to re-kick the ball, back them up 10 yards and re-kick. But that still doesn't sound like that fits the crime when, to make them kick over when they have a penalty like that.
From the 39-yard line, second down at a yard. Here's Stan Sisk moving the ball forward for a first down. As he brings the ball to the 37-yard line, we're down to 4:36 to play, third quarter, 18-12 in the third quarter, moving much slower than did the first and second quarters of this game. Oak Ridge on top. The rain has stopped completely. Just kind of breezy out there right now. 4:27 to play. Oak Ridge on top, 18-12. The Wildcats scoring with 6:46 to play in this quarter on a 5-yard run by Shaun Bohanan, his second touchdown and his 21st touchdown of the year. He's 8 short of Sean Summers' all-time single-season record. Here's the pitch to Shaun. Shaun cannot break out of his the grasp of Tony Colston, and along with number 57 for them, Eric Phillips. And Eric Phillips is a player that Coach Gaddis said that they haven't blocked in 2 years previous to this ball game, as a balloon comes floating down, just hovering over the top of the field here as Phillips makes a stop on Shaun Bohanan.
Well, I tell you, you're talking about the fans in the end zone taunting Shaun Bohanan. It looked like earlier, a couple of plays ago, he was looking at him and he was pointing to the scoreboard. So, when you're ahead, you can always say, oh, yeah, but just look at the scoreboard. Second
down and 10 yards to go. Lucier wants to pass. Lots of time. Goes down the field. There's the man. Here's the pass. Mike Gibson, the intended receiver. Incomplete. The defender was Scotty Herrell out there, and I tell you, that was man-to-man coverage out there, and the pass, so just incomplete. It'll be third down at 10, and Chad knows right now by his body language down there that he had a touchdown right there, just misfired.
Well, he really did. We talked about he had all the time in the world to throw that ball. The pass pro has been wonderful for Oak Ridge all night long, and they may even try to air it out here, especially on this play coming up. It's third and a little over 10 yards.
Here come the Wildcats to the line. Jason McCadley here to the near side. He's being covered out here by Wayne Lowe. Single man to the left. Oak Ridge from the eye. Third down and 10. Here comes the sack. Lucier is blasted at the 45-yard line. They fake the reverse, and in there quickly for the Clinton Dragons came number 41, Jason Horton. Fine play by Clinton, and the Dragons will get the ball back. Great play for Clinton.
Well, it really is. That's a big play for them right here. That really gives them some momentum. That play takes a long time to develop, and the quarterback Chad has actually got his back turned, so it's a very dangerous play as well.
Back to receive the kick is Rex O'Connor. Here's Jason Altman's kick. It's going to be short. It's going to take a good Oak Ridge bounce inside the 5, rolling down to the 2, to the 1-yard line, and that's where the Dragons will take over, right at the 1 or 2-yard line. Great punt, and great play for the Wildcats as it just rolls dead. And Jason Altman is one of those punts where he didn't have to get into it, and it's a great roll inside the 5-yard line.
Well, he didn't try to get into it, David. You could tell by his setup. He just caught it and then just really went real slow into it. Because you're punting the ball from midfield, so anything down there is going to be close. But that time, he just popped it and it took a great roll. It looks like they're 1-yard line or so right now.
The clock ticked off about 10 seconds right there. It's now finally stopped at 2:32. The Wildcats on top, 18-12. They have the ball at around the 1 or 2-yard line. It's hard to tell from our angle. I formation. Herrell sneaks the ball forward for not a lot, a yard or two. Of course, down here you don't want to turn the ball over. They've turned the ball over a couple times already in the game. 3 times, Mark says. We're down to 2:22 and counting. It'll be a gain of a yard, maybe 2. 1 yard officially. It'll be second down and 9. We're in the third quarter of this Region 2 ball game. The Wildcats trying to close out the year in the region undefeated and a 9-1 record. Ball's at the 2-yard line. Second down, 9 yards to go. The Wildcats up to the line defensively. We got 5 men on the line. Scotty Herrell from the I formation, a single receiver here to the near side. And Herrell wants to pass. Here it is across the way. Pass is complete to number 49. He breaks a tackle, picks up first down yardage across the 15, down to the 20, up to the 25-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go.
Well, they got by with one there too, David. Looks like they came out on the little pop pass. A good throw, good catch. The tailback looked like he jumped just right before the play. I don't know if you saw it, but definitely looked like motion from here.
Minute 45 to play in the third quarter, 18-12, Oak Ridge on top. Live here from Clinton. Next week will be at Blankenship Field. The Wildcats probably entertaining the Sevier County Smoky Bears by the scores that we have in those games. And we'll go back to Nathan here in about a minute and a half. First and 10, 4-man front Oak Ridge. I formation. Here's the handoff for nothing. In fact, John Dickens slings him down to the turf at around the 21-yard line. Brennan Jones just blasted. They'll lose 3 or 4 yards.
Well, it was a really good play, David. Clinton has not had any success running the ball in this game. They've only got, looks like 50 yards on 16 carries. They lost another 2 there, so 48 yards rushing the ball, and really a couple of them came on some big runs. So Oak Ridge defense has really done a good job, especially, they've shut them down except for that one pass play in the second half.
We're under a minute to play here in the third quarter. It was officially a loss of about 2. Second down, 12 yards to go. 2 receivers near side. Single man to the right. From the eye, they'll come. 4-man front Oak Ridge. Scotty Herrell will pass. Fires it across the way. Complete. At the 35 to the 40, to the 45 to the 50-yard line. Jason McHaley can't make the catch. Gaddis and Bellbrock finally bring him down at the 35-yard line of the Wildcats. First down, 10 yards to go.
What's that same play, David? It's that little slant in. Once the receiver got inside, it looks like a couple people missed. This guy's, wasn't very fast. He's not very fast whatsoever. Runs down the ball, and he was carrying the ball like up and down instead of like normal people carry the ball. Looked like he could have been very easily stripped, but none of the Oak Ridge players saw it. That's a huge play for them right there.
Once again, that's Jordan Holbrook on the reception. First and 10 at the Oak Ridge 35. 23 seconds to play in the third quarter. Oak Ridge on top, 18-12. But the Dragons are on the move once again. From the eye, single man here to the near side. Scotty Herrell once again will pitch to his tailback, who finds a hole, breaks a couple tackles, still on his way to the 30, down to the 27-yard line. Fine run by Jason Weber, as he should have been tackled before he was. A very, very determined run for him.
Well, it really was, Dave, but also it's just poor tackling. It's 2 plays in a row. Oak Ridge has not tackled very well. We've got a timeout here. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, actually, we'll take that back at the end of the quarter. We'll be back as the score right now at the end of the third quarter. Oak Ridge 18, Clinton Dragons 12.
It looks like Karns headed to the playoffs if they can hold on to that game. 18-12 our score. The Dragons with the ball at the 29-yard line. Man in motion to the right. That's Thomas. Handoff goes for about a yard. Not much more than that. That's Jason Weber. This time the Wildcats make the stop. Bill Pendergrass, along with a couple of other Wildcats for Oak Ridge. John Dickens, perhaps It'll be third down at about 4.
Well, that's Chris Hood in there, too, as well.
Thank
David,
you.
making another fine stop for Oak Ridge.
Yeah, that's the number that I needed. I wasn't too sure who that guy was. Couldn't quite see it as he didn't turn quite around. 11:30 to play in the ball game. 18-12. Third down at about 4. Jason Martin brings in the play from the sideline. Out of the game will come Jason Weber once again. It'll be third down, a long 3 to go for a first. The ball is at the 27-yard line. Up to the line they'll come. I formation again. Shannon Thomas is the tailback, the sophomore who was an Oak Ridger last year. And Herrell will pass. Here comes Pendergrass. He's going to run. He moves the ball for a first down as he brings the ball across the 25 down to the 23-yard line. He is so elusive. Picks up a first down already. He has a little over 30 yards in the ball game. First and 10, Dragons. And listen to Clinton fans.
Well, this is a great game, David. You know, I don't care who you pull, if you're pulling for Clinton or Oak Ridge, either one. Very exciting. It seems like the twists and turns every time you turn around. The ball game's the momentum's changing. Clinton's got the ball now. Looks like about the 23-yard line, first down and driving.
10:40 to play in the ball game. Power I to the right, first and 10. Up to the line they'll come from the 23-yard line of Oak Ridge. The pitch will go to the tailback. Looks for a hole. He's got it. 20 down to the 17-yard line before the stop is made by Oak Ridge. The stop is made by the Wildcats' Brad Redmond. Fine gain on the play on the power I right. It was a gain of about 5. So to bring up second down and 5 yards to go as he goes down officially at around the 17-yard line. 10 minutes to play. We're in the fourth and final quarter of this one, and Oak Ridge on top 18-12, but the Dragons are inside the Oak Ridge 20. Single man, Colston here to the near side. Power I to the right once again. Now they shift to the left. Power I left. Scotty Herrell under center. Handoff goes for nothing to number 8 who carries the ball, and that is Clay McAmis, 5'8", 190-pound senior. And it'll be, let's see, third down at about 4.
I believe that's 48, number 48, Jordan Holbrook on the carry.
Thank you very much. As the ball is officially put down at around the 16-yard line, so it's third down and 4 once again. That is the case. Holbrook and Weber in the backfield. Power I, along with number 12 once again, Brennan Jones. Herrell coming to the line from the 16-yard line. I saw some movement. The quarterback's in trouble. Sacked! Big sack, John Dickens. Is there a holding flag down this time? I don't believe so. Dickens is going to get credit for the sack. The last time he sacked Herrell, that's when that holding call was made, and they lose big yardage. Timeout, Dragons. 8:50. It'll be fourth down, 9 yards to go for the Dragons. Herrell and company going for it from the 23-yard line. I formation, 2 receivers to the left. Herrell wants to pass, feeling some pressure, feeling bodies in his face. He's sacked. Give the ball to Oak Ridge. Turn it over to the Cats. Oak Ridge sacks him again. Jared Carell and John Dickens, and Herrell is still down on the turf. He's okay, but he's sacked, and that ends the drive.
Oh, what a huge play. Jared Carell, we've called his name out all year. I don't know if he's ever had a bigger stop than that one right there. The coaches over here saying, whatever we knew, we have to have a pass rush, and Jared Carell rises to the occasion. Big sack for him.
8 minutes. 28 seconds to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge on top, 18-12. Lots of time to go. Here comes McCadley. Here to the near side. Velbrock and Mike Gibson to the right. Oak Ridge with Sisk and Bohanan. First and 10. The ball at their own 28. Here's Shaun Bohanan, 30. Shaun Bohanan to the 35. Shaun Bohanan to the 38-yard line. Gain of 8 or 9 yards on the play. The Wildcats trying to work the clock now with the lead, 18-12, 8:15 to play in the ball game. It was a rainy first part of this ball game. The field is extremely muddy, but it's not as bad as it could have been, actually, as it obviously takes a lot of water. As the Wildcats pick up 9 on the previous play, it'll be 2nd and 1. Here come the Wildcats to the line. Velbrock to the right, and Gibson here to the near side. The Wildcats moving from right to left here in the fourth quarter. High formation, needing about 1.5 yards for a first, and there's Sisk. He has that 1.5 yards and more across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Move the chains. Give Oak Ridge 4 more downs. First down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats. 7:43 to play in the ball game. 18-12, Oak Ridge on top.
Another good job by Stan Sisk. They're running the trap. It's been there all night, and you notice that he fumbled once before. The first time I've ever seen him fumble. He's got both hands on the ball. He's not going to fumble here.
The Wildcats first down, 10 yards to go up to the line. They'll come. The Wildcats, the Dragons beating for the 35th time in the series. Two receivers right. There's movement again by Oak Ridge. The Wildcats jump off sides this time here on the left side. That's going to cost them 5. 7:25 to play in the ball game. A 6-point Wildcat lead, 18-12. The Dragons got on the board first with 10:05 to play in the first quarter. 14-yard touchdown pass from Scotty Herrell to Brennan Jones. The Wildcats answered with a 26-yard touchdown run by Shaun Bohanan. The kick was good, and Oak Ridge led 7-6. There were 42 seconds to play in the first half. Scotty Herrell once again hit Brennan Jones. They went for 2. It failed. They led 12-7. Then a field goal by Granger Marler and a touchdown by Shaun Bohanan gives Oak Ridge the lead. Here's Bohanan with the call. Bohanan is going no place. He's blasted. Will lose about a yard at the 35-yard line. So Clinton rising to the occasion. It'll be second down at about 15 yards to go. 7 minutes to play in the ball game. 18-12. Oak Ridge on top. And hopefully that penalty won't hurt the Wildcats, but you just can't make mistakes like that at this time of the ball game and this end of the field.
Absolutely, that cost them 5 yards at a really critical time. And speaking of Clinton, how many times have you heard of Holbrook's name mentioned over here?
Forever. It seems like they have him year in and year out. Here comes the Wildcats with 4 receivers in the pattern. Wildcats, Lucier to pass. Here's the pass, complete to McCadley. McCadley breaks the tackle across the 40 to the 43-yard line. They'll be third down at about 7 to go before Weber makes the stop. And I think that's the first reception of the ball game for Jason McCadley.
Yes, it is, David. And I tell you, it came at a good time. It brings up a huge play right here. 3rd and 7. Oak Ridge really needs a first down right here. Keep the chains going, keep the clocks going. A very critical 3rd down in this ball game.
6 minutes to go here in the ball game. Oak Ridge on top, 18-12. Velbrock and Mike Gibson here to the near side. Bohanan and McCadley to the right. Sisk, the lone running back. The Wildcats need 7 from the 46. Lucier pass to McCadley. Big hole. He's across the 50 and more at the 45. First down reception and run by Jason McCadley. It's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
A great call right there, Davey. We saw that play a whole lot in the Carnes game. Very successfully ran. This time Chad kind of rolls out to his right. McCadley comes underneath, and it's a short pass, but very effective. First down, huge first down for the Wildcats.
5 minutes, 45 seconds to play in the ball game. Chad Lucier now 7 of 11 passing for 76 yards. Here come the Wildcats. The ball's at the 43-yard line of Clinton. Wildcats with, once again, the I formation. 2 receivers to the near side. Here's Bohanan. Bohanan to the 40. Bohanan moves the ball to around the 36-yard line. That's where he's tackled. Shaun Bohanan over 150 yards in the ball game on a lot of carries. Shaun has been the workhorse. That was his 26th carry of the ball game.
Very impressive. Looks like he's right at 158 yards, and he is really, he hasn't had the big, huge run, but he has earned every single yard that he's gotten. He's very determined this game, David.
And we're now under 5 minutes to play in the ball game. Second down, 5 yards to go. Oak Ridge to the line. Lucier hands it to Sisk. Sisk across the 35. Stan moves the ball to around the 33, and he's close to another Oak Ridge first down. The Wildcats just grinding it out. Wildcats can play that kind of ball if we want them to. It is a third down and about a yard to go, and more importantly, we're down to 4.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge is leading 18-12. Live here in Clinton, the Wildcats trying to go 9-1 here and host the playoff round 1 next week and send the Dragons on the road to Johnson City Science Hill if the latest score we got is correct. Here's Sisk with the call. He's not going to get a first down on first effort. He's going to be knocked back. It'll be 4th down, I think, facing the Wildcats. And that is the case, as Sisk just did not get any kind of hole at all. It's 4th down and 2. 4 minutes to play in the ball game.
Well, it's 4th down and 2, and I don't think there's any doubt that Coach Gaddis is going to go for it. It doesn't do you any good to punt. A first down here is very critical. You don't want to turn the ball over on downs and let Clinton have the ball with about, I can't see the clock, Dave said about 4 or 5 minutes left to go in the game.
3:52.
3:52 to go in the game. Looks like Oak Ridge is going to take a timeout. We'll take one ourselves. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
County Smoky Bears. I formation, single receiver to the left. That's Velbrock, 2nd and 9. Lucier will hand it to Sisk. Stan Sisk across the 30, down to the 28-yard line. And the clock continues to tick. We're down to 2:29 to play in the ball game. And a timeout is asked for this time by the Dragons. 18-12 our score, back in 60 seconds.
Yeah. What's the ball? What are we doing here?
Get down close.
Quickly.
Let's be running toward the Academy here on 42.
Third down, 5 yards to go for the Wildcats. Lucier under center, 2:29 to play in the ball game. And Lucier will hand it to Bohanan. Bohanan breaks the tackle, tries to get the first down. He's about a yard short, I do believe. He might have gotten it. By the reaction of John Dickens, the Wildcats might have picked up, and indeed, it'll be a first down for the Wildcats. That pretty much will seal the fate of the Clinton Dragons with 2:21 to play in the ball game. The Wildcats have picked up the first down. The clock will wind once again, and we're ticking it on down. 2:17 as the rain continues to fall here at Clinton, as the tears are falling from the fans here in the Dragon Stadium as well. Up to the line will come the Wildcats once again. It'll be Chad Lucier under center, single receiver to the right. Slot to the left is Mike Gibson. Wildcats taking a lot of time, burning it off. Here's Sisk with the call, holds on to the ball as he moves the ball to around the 16 or 17 yard line. 1:52 and counting. It'll be second down facing Oak Ridge.
Well, if you'll watch Coach Gaddis here, he's watching when the officials set the clock, and then he's seeing what the clock says, and waiting for the time to go down to about 5 seconds, and then Chad will get the signal from Coach Gaddis to actually start the play. It's a very good clock execution.
1:30 to play in the ball game. 18-12, Oak Ridge on top. From the I formation, second down, 7 yards to go. Chad Lucier under center. We're down to 1:23 to play. Lucier will hand it to Bohanan. Bohanan straight up the gut running. He breaks a couple tackles. He's inside the 10. He's down to the 6 or 7 yard line. That's another first down for the Wildcats. First down, goal to go. 1:15 to play in the ball game, and Oak Ridge leads at 18-12, and some of the Dragon faithful beginning to head out of Clinton City Field. 1:15 to play. You're listening to the game live on AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. This is a very good Clinton team, and I think they're going to go a long ways in the playoffs.
You talking about Clinton or Oak Ridge?
Both.
I think so too. Clinton's got a very good football team. They've impressed me tonight.
Here come the Wildcats to the line. First down, goal to go at the 7. To play in the game. Chad Lucier will hand it to Bohanan. Bohanan finds a little crease. He's at the 3. He's at the 1. He's in. No signal. Not quite. He's at the 1 yard line with 48 seconds to play in the ball game. An impressive drive for the Wildcats as it continues. The Wildcats have ticked it under a minute to play. The ball is at the 1 inch line, and the Wildcats knocking on the door of yet another touchdown. A tacked-on touchdown will make it look good in the paper, but this was an exciting ball game as the Wildcats headed for the win with 25 seconds to play, and Shaun Bohanan heading for a touchdown if he gets the call. From the aisle, Lucier under center. Chad will hand it to Shaun, and Shaun dives. Touchdown, Oak Ridge! Shaun Bohanan takes it across, and the Wildcats increase their lead over the Clinton Dragons as Shaun Bohanan has his third touchdown of the night as the rain continues to fall here. It's 24-12, 14.2 seconds to play, and the Dragons will lose their fourth game of the year.
And I'll tell you what, you cannot fault the coaching staff right here for trying to punch the ball in. You know, they're only down 6. You never know when you're going to fumble the ball or whatever happens. You've got to score there to seal the victory.
Granger Marler to attempt the extra point. Good snap, good hold. Here's the kick by Granger. He boots it out and over the top of those end zone seats. Oak Ridge on top.
Really? Wildcats will kick off and booting it downfield. It's going to be picked up by an up man, and he's going up to the 25 to the 35 yard line.
Granger Marler's kick is returned to the 35-yard line. There's only 9.6 seconds to play in the regular season. And Scott, regular season's about over, and we're headed to the playoffs next week.
This is what it's all about, David. You know, Oak Ridge, of course, perennially in the playoffs, and this one's, of course, no exception. The fun starts next week.
25-12. Here come the Wildcats defensively. Looks like the starters in there. They have one play, and this one will probably be over. Scotty Herrell in at quarterback. I formation. 2 receivers to the left. First down, 10 yards to go. Herrell dropping back to pass, feeling pressure. He looks for... He's grabbed by Jared Herrell, corralled at the 35-yard line, and that's the ball game. Oak Ridge, with 0.8 seconds to play on the clock. 0.8 seconds to play. The Dragons, I think, call their final timeout. Oak Ridge on top, 25-12, headed for a victory, and the Wildcats will close out there for the final play. The Wildcats headed for their 9th win as the rain continues to fall here. It's actually a little foggy, or either that or they need to clean the window here. I formation, 2nd down and 10. Herrell back to pass. Looks like he's going to run. He fires it down the way. There's the man. Here's the catch. Complete as the ball game comes to a close. They gained about 50 yards on the play. It was complete for a long, long game to Jordan Holbrook, but the ball game comes to a close, and the Wildcats have defeated the Clinton Dragons by a final score of 25-12.
So the Wildcats have won for the 4th consecutive time. The Wildcats have only lost 9 times to the Clinton Dragons in 35 meetings. So the Wildcats continue to dominate the series.
And boy, this is a good one, Dave. You know, Oak Ridge and Clinton get together. You remember last year, I think Oak Ridge had a much better team. Clinton comes in and, really puts it to Oak Ridge. 21-14 the final there, 25-12 here, and the ball game was close. Actually, it went down to the last drive. Oak Ridge had the ball. They had a couple big 3rd down conversions. Shaun Bohanan, I think both times, or really 3 times, on a big 1st down. If not, then Clinton gets the ball, with 2.5, 3 minutes to go or so in the game. And with their offense, could very easily came in and scored. So, really Oak Ridge had to have some 1st downs, and they did it. They executed well. Good game. It's a good one to jumpstart into the playoffs.
Scott, we're going to take a break here. Mark's working on the final statistics. If you want to go down there to do some interviews, we'll be more than happy to set that up for you. Final score of the ball game, 25-12, Oak Ridge wins. I don't know if the players will hang around with the rain coming down like this, so it's totally up to you. We'll forego that, and we'll have player interviews next week as the Wildcats host probably the Sevier County Smoky Bears. And Nathan, before we take the break, did you get any finals on those two games?
I don't have a final on that game yet, but the scouts told me that it's 28-0 with about 3 minutes left to go in the game.
Like Sevier County and Oak Ridge in the first round. 25-12, the final score here. You're listening to AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Tonight's interview with head coach of the Wildcats, Joe Gaddis, is brought to you in part by Molly's Falling Balloonery in Grove Center, Oak Ridge. For special occasions, choose a special gift with a little help from your friends at Molly's Falling Balloonery. Now let's go to David Clary and the coach of the Wildcats, Joe Gaddis.
Before we go to them, we're going to get a couple of scores, and we're going to send it out to Joe Gaddis and David Clary. Late in the 4th quarter, Sevier 28, South Doyle nothing. Also in the 4th quarter, Jefferson County 42, Morristown East 14. Back to you, David.
Thanks a lot, Nathan. So indeed, it will be Oak Ridge and Sevier County. I don't think anything, a total collapse can occur in either one of those ball games. The head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Joe Gaddis, is here and up here very quickly, I guess. Looking forward to heading on back to Oak Ridge. A rainy night here in Clinton, and a tough ball game, a hard-fought game, a back-and-forth affair throughout the first half. Well, let me ask you first, before I get into the details of it, do you think the playing surface and the rain had anything to do with the outcome of the game, or is this just a very good Clinton team?
Well, it's a good Clinton team. They did some things that hurt us without any question. Scotty Herrell is a tremendous football player, and he hurt us. We knew he would. We just hoped it wasn't going to be to the tune of 200-plus yards in the air. But, I think that the playing surface, of course, this field was probably I can't imagine a better playing surface in the state at this point of the season, given these conditions. I think our speed advantage was somewhat negated, but not terribly. I think, I think this is a good Clinton team. They played tough, and I didn't think we played particularly well in some instances. I thought we did some things that weren't the smartest things in the world, including me. I think I made some mistakes that were, not the smartest things in the world as well. But you got to give credit to Clinton, and I really credit our football team's determination in the second half against a tough Clinton team.
Shaun Bohanan finished the ball game with 185 yards, and we could tell at the very beginning of the ball game he was very determined. His runs were hard. He carried the ball 32 times, which is a lot for Shaun, but they were hard runs. In fact, you could tell just about from the very first carry of the ball game that Shaun was not going to be denied tonight.
Well, he's been wondering when he was going to run the ball more than 8, 10, 12 times a game, and from this point on, people are going to have to stop Shaun Bohanan. I'm not going to make a mistake and lose a ball game with him carrying it 8 or 10 times. They weren't going to stop him, and then our offensive line blocked well. I talked to our team at halftime about the fact that there's no way you can lose a football game to a team that cannot run on you and a team that shouldn't be able to stop us when we run. You just don't lose games like that. And, just stop them from throwing the ball over the top, stop Scotty Herrell from breaking containment and cutting back against the grain. If we do those things, there's not that many things they can hurt us with on the offensive side when they're on offense. But anyway, Shaun Bohanan ran very determined. We blocked well, and I didn't think they were going to stop us on the ground.
Yeah, as I look at the stats here, you talk about the ground game. Only 54 yards of rushing for the Dragons. They had 246 yards through the air, and I guess a lot of those had to come on the first drive as they came down the field 80 yards in 4 plays, and generally to that in. They didn't have a lot of speed out there, but when they made the catches, they were hard to get down because of their size.
Well, they were. They gave us a new, not a new, but a different little wrinkle than we prepared for on that first drive, and we didn't make a very good adjustment out on the field, and, obviously I didn't have them prepared to make the adjustment we needed to make, but, you have to give Clinton a lot of credit and the coaches a lot of credit for that first drive. And then, of course, they got 50 yards, I think, on that last play of the game, which added to their already impressive passing yardage. But they couldn't run on us. They threw the football well, and you got to be pleased with the fact that our defense was pretty much stuffing the run totally. And when a team has to pass, they are going to get some yards. But we didn't want them to be able to run the football and throw the football when they desired to throw it. They threw it because they had to throw it.
One time, I think it was you went on a reverse on was it a 3rd or 4th down play, Coach?
It was stupidity on my part. We lost, being me, I'll take all the blame and all the credit for this, lost track of the downs. I thought it was the first down, and saw one of our players kind of signal first down. Thought I saw an official signal first down. I didn't look back and check. That was stupidity on my part.
Well, I'm not
going to blame anybody else on that.
Sorry I brought it up, Coach.
You needed to bring it up because somebody out there is wondering who the fool is that made that call. It was me.
Coach, well, let's talk about two penalties. I just want clarification up here. We don't know the interference call on the punt where they got the ball right at the spot, and the holding call down here, which ended up being like a 25-yard penalty.
Officials have a tough job. We had a TSSAA official on the sideline that ultimately said that was an incorrect call on the holding, how they marked that holding penalty off, which led to their go-ahead touchdown, if I recall.
Right.
The punt situation was that, let's see if I can get this right. If we take that penalty, then they punt over. If we take the play, we get the ball where the infraction occurred, is the way they explain it to me. So we want to go ahead. I don't know that that's right, wrong. Who knows? Two crazy situations right there, and kind of caught me off guard and caught all of us off guard on both of them.
It's too bad that the weather conditions caused a lot of people not to get out to the ball game tonight, because this was a classic Oak Ridge Clinton battle. I mean, the score looks different. The paper is going to say 25-12, but it's a close ball game down to the last. It was, if they had scored, I mean, it was just a 6-point game.
Oh yeah, this was an exciting game to be a part of. I felt like we were kind of off stride and made some poor decisions, both myself and on the field, and kind of got off balance, and then they kind of took charge in the first half, and they're a tough football team. Have some scrappy players for sure.
You gave a lot. Your offensive line, I'm going to give them credit. You opened up some holes, and you gave Chad a lot of time to throw. His pocket stayed, pretty big throughout the night. He was 7-11 for 76 yards passing, and Shaun completed his first pass of the year. But
that was a big play in the ball game.
It was,
if I recall. I don't know what the score was, but it was a 3rd down and something, and we threw the little halfback pass with 2 levels, and he threw the ball, I think, to Gibson underneath.
Right.
Which everybody, when you get a tailback fixing to throw, it looks way down the field, but we got the opening underneath, and then Gibson made a big first down for us.
It was good to see Mike in there, because you had said that he was questionable.
Well, he was not full speed at all. He didn't feel comfortable to play defense, and, pass defense-wise, he's our best defender, period. He's certainly a tremendous defensive back. He didn't play a down on defense, maybe 2 or 3 downs on defense, but he was very uncomfortable. He's not full speed. My plan tonight was, and my hope was, to not play him a down on either side of the ball. We ended up playing him quite a bit on offense after about the first quarter, and I wanted him totally well by next week for the playoff run, and I think we got out of this game with him relatively unscathed in terms of additional injury?
The kick game was pretty good. You've got some good punts out of Jason. Granger did a good job, and along with your holder, getting the extra points down, and the field goal was big too.
Field goal was big, made it 12-10, and put us in position to at least win by a point if we kick another field goal. But yeah, the kicking game was good. But Altman put the ball dead on about the one. Of course, then we let him out of the deck-gum bag. I believe they threw a little past to Holbrook, and we can't tackle him. But you know, this was a heck of a football game. I would think to watch, both up here from the booth and in the stands, despite the rain. I think once people got here, you know, you're going to get wet. You're wet quick. What the heck? You know, what a football game to watch.
Coach, I don't want to keep you here much longer, but another big play I saw in the ball game was the kickoff that at the end of the first half, when Charlie got the ball and lateraled it back to Shaun, and he went about 30 or 40 yards, setting up that field goal.
Right, that's exactly what we wanted to do, and we wanted to do it in the second half, and Altman didn't pick it to him. But I don't want people to be able to kick it short and keep it away from Bohanan. We're going to get it to Bohanan either way. You know, unless they want to kick an all-time time or kick the ball out of bounds every time. Otherwise, we're going to get it back to him. I've instructed everybody. I don't even want them to touch it except for the purpose of handing the ball to Bohanan.
Coach, looks like you're playing Sevier County, Jefferson County all over Morristown East, and Sevier County's all over South Doyle. So it looks like Sevier County, for the second consecutive year, coming to Blankenship Field.
You know, their quarterback last year, I think his first start as a sophomore was against us in the playoffs, and he's got a full season now under his belt, and apparently he's playing very well, very impressively. So I'm sure we'll have our hands full next week with Sevier County coming into Blankenship.
It was 28-0 late in the fourth quarter. That's what Keith Hyatt phoned in that score.
Okay, I know South Doyle, you know, has some good athletes. I think one of those, is it Malone brothers? Right. I think one of them got hurt a few weeks ago, and he's not out there anymore, but still they have some talent. And for Sevier County to dominate them the way they did, I'm certain they're going to be a tougher, stronger, better, well-rounded Sevier County team than we defeated a year ago. It seemed like the score might have been 27-3 last year.
Right.
They're going to be a much better team.
Do they have the same size that they always seem to have?
I can't imagine Sevier County not being a large football team. They're always growing big up there, and, you know, they got the good passing game. I'm sure they're licking their chops with 246 yards thrown against us tonight. We hope Mike Gibson's back and ready to go on defense next week. Again, I say he's our most experienced defender back there in the secondary, and then we feel like he's our best one. We want to have him back in his normal safety position next week against Sevier County.
Carnes is in the playoffs. They shut out Farragut. It was like 23-0. And any injuries to talk about? Any final comments?
Well, first of all, about Carnes, you know, this is not an anti-Farragut statement, but it's nice to see a team get in the playoffs for the first time ever, as I understand it. Carnes, you know, had the big win with AE last week, and it's nice to have them in there. I guess they got to go to Dobbins Bennett from the score I heard earlier.
Right.
But, you know, at least they're in the playoffs. I don't expect them to do well, but they're in there. What was the question?
Just talking about injuries and just final comments.
Can't have any at this stage of the season. I don't think we have any, though, and my biggest concern, again, was Mike Gibson, getting him through this game without aggravating his already injured hip, and I think we were able to do that. He should be full speed next week. I think we're okay.
Coach, I appreciate the time after the ball game. I know it's wet, and you're happy about a win and looking forward to the playoffs next week. And now, finally, you can take those questions about the playoffs.
Absolutely. Eager to take them.
Coach, thanks a lot. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you Monday morning at 7:30.
Thank you.
Coach Joe Gaddis, head coach of the Oak Ridge Wildcats. The Wildcats win the ball game tonight. Final score, 25-12. The Wildcats knock off the Clinton Dragons yet another time. We're going to